And the demand for AI depends on the price. The demand for anything depends on the price. Imagine if Lamborghini suddenly said, we're only going to produce, we're going to start selling Lamborghinis for 40% of what it costs us to make them. A lot of people would buy Lamborghinis, and a lot of people building factories for Lamborghinis, and those factory makers would be making a whole lot of money. And now, of course, we'd say, wait. You've set the price too low, so we don't need all those factories. But it's AI. Everybody's forgotten about that. Everybody's kind of forgotten that, wait a minute. AI has basically set prices that are 40% of their costs. And you can see this from the losses they had in 2024. They lost 5.3 billion and 3.5 billion revenues. And they just released the numbers for the first half of 2025. And they say they've lost 0.2 billion the first half of 2025 on 4.3 billion. So actually, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. So what would happen if they set prices that were equal to their costs? What would happen if they set prices a lot higher than their costs in order to make a profit, which investors are expecting to happen eventually? Well, obviously the demand for AI would drop. Obviously the demand for cloud services would drop. The demand for cloud services drop, the demand for energy drops, everything drops. We don't know what the real demand is because we don't know, because the users don't know what the real prices are. And until that happens, we won't know about this demand. And yet we have all these energy companies charging out to build factories, data centers. They're building data centers, and there's a very long lead time, right? Data centers is 8 years it takes from planning until it's completed. Electrical generating plants can be longer. And so all these companies are making decisions about building data centers and electrical generating plants, and we don't even know the real demand.
Yeah, and I think that also gets to it's a great point, and it gets to something else, right? If you are charging what the actual cost to use AI, I mean, I pay for a few different models and use them on a daily basis, and I find them, I love it, right? Like I'm an avid user of AI, but if it costs a lot more, I probably wouldn't be using it. But then the follow-on effect of that is, what kind of productivity gains do you get using AI? And does that create more of a gap between who has access to technology that's going to make them more productive, enable them to, sort of enhance their lives, maybe make more money, whatever it is? You're creating more of a gap between the haves and the have-nots with that, which is something that has always existed. But what we're talking about here is, in my view, and I would love to hear what you guys think, is exponentially larger, right? So it's not just the difference between driving a Lamborghini and driving a Ford. It's the difference between having access to something with massive compute power that can, drastically reduce the time that it takes you to complete a task or the research that you need to do.
Well, that's what OpenAI wants you to believe. They want you to believe that this is so important, that writing your emails is so important, talking to your AI therapist is so important. And now they've released Sora, and they're charging, they're saying you can make 100 videos a month. But then if you look at the amount of money it costs to make each video using Microsoft prices, using their data center prices, it's $5. It's $5. So on a $20 subscription plan, you get 100 Sora models, you get 100 of these 10-second videos, but they make 4 and you've reached your limit, and OpenAI isn't going to make money. Now, how important are these videos? I mean, they're cute, they're nice, but the economic value of videos and even words is not that high. There's only, movie industry, video ads, books. There's very little, as far as direct benefit from generative AI, maybe in coding, but, for the most part, it's not that big a deal. And yet it's being very low prices, which is causing all these other problems.
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, in my world, I totally disagree. This is transformational. If I look at I've got a support team of 45 people, and with the AI tools that we've introduced, we've trebled the number of tickets that each one of those people deal with on a daily basis.
And what do they make?
They're IT support people. They're IT support people. So we run a
Yeah.
help desk.
Okay.
So we support organizations
Yeah.
with their tech. So I've got people sat there on the end of phones dealing with people's IT support
Yeah.
problems. But 45 people now do 3 times the number of tickets every single day. That's a huge productivity gain.
Yeah.
I've got, I've got so many examples that it's massively impactful. Now, that doesn't mean that the price model's right, and it doesn't mean that we've got equality right, and we will see changes. Simon said about SLMs, for sure that's going to become more of a
Yeah.
thing. Everybody was expecting Apple to release a chip-based SLM when they first released Apple Intelligence, and it still hasn't happened. We're seeing edge AI, I think,
Mm.
with AI PCs, where we've got NPUs. The adoption of that uses a lot less power, is able to do a lot more locally. So the industry will change to catch up.